Hey guys, welcome back. You're tuned in the booth media. You're in the booth with Bradley and Chris. We got some great content for you today, so let's jump right into it. What's up, Chris?
Hey man, what's going on?
Oh, not too much. You doing all right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's been a busy week. I know we've kind of missed 2 weeks. Well, we missed 1 week, and then we're making up for last week now. Me and Chris has been busy. Life, those things. We both have small children, so we get to it when we can. Luckily, tonight we're going to be able to do something very. Sometimes we don't do them on weekday nights, but we were able to get opportunities, so we're going to squeeze it in. So I'm pretty excited about that. Are you, Chris?
Yeah, man. It's like you said, it's been 2 weeks and there's a lot of things going on in baseball, so we cannot miss this.
Yeah, no, it's big time. Just to give you all a little update on how we're doing on the YouTube channel, our Otani video has gotten a lot of views. It seemed to have taken off a little bit more so than all the other ones, which me and Chris are very excited about. Those look like they're doing good. I think we're going to do a few more, definitely short videos or videos like that, because people seem to enjoy them and they seem to have gotten some views. Do you know the exact number, Chris? I know we looked earlier. Or I looked earlier, but
I can't remember the top of my head.
it was 1,700 there, right? Somewhere.
Somewhere, yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty good. I mean, for one video, 1,700 views. I'm thoroughly pleased with that. As y'all know, we've talked about it. We're both new at this, so 1,700 views. That's to me, that's a lot of views. It's a lot of people looking at that video.
Yeah,
So,
that's for sure. It's a lot of eyeballs.
yeah, so super excited about that. But anyways, let's jump into it. So today we're gonna, like Chris said, there's a lot going on. The trade lot at deadline ends today, right? Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Everybody's making those moves, trying to set themselves up for postseason runs. Um, there are some sellers, some big time sellers that
And
maybe we
some
didn't know
big time
about,
buyers.
and some big time buyers. Yes, so it's pretty exciting. It's heating up. This is when baseball really, for me, this is when I really start paying attention to baseball. Is after the trade deadline, after the All Star break, because that's when things start to tighten up. Before the game, every game matters. We know that, but you get a different type of baseball starting now. Everyone
Yeah.
tightens up. Every game does count. Everybody's
Yeah.
playing to win. So this is when it gets exciting.
Hey, let me ask you a question since you said that. So, do you think baseball season should be cut in half?
Uh, I'd be okay with shorter. Yeah, I'd be okay with a shorter season. And I only say that because I'm a
Just
huge football fan. So football and baseball run in together there at the end.
But I mean, you got that, but that's like almost every sports. Because then you got basketball along with baseball too, right at the beginning. So
Yeah. It's 165, right? Or 162.
162, yeah,
162. That's a lot of games. I
yeah. I think
mean,
basketball plays. I think they play 80 something games. I want to say,
yeah.
not 100% sure, but they only play like 2 or 3 games a week though. They don't play every single day of the week.
So I don't know about in half. So I don't know about directly in half. I don't know. Uh, hmm.
I'm only saying that because you said that now is basically when, and which for the most part you're kind of right. A lot of people start paying more attention to the game because it gets more competitive towards the end.
Yeah. Every team is. You see them. They're making deals now for postseason runs. The people that are in, they're fixing their weak spots so that they can make that deep run. And people that are on the brink, like the Angels or something, they're making trades to get in. Just to
Right.
they're trying to make them to get in. But before games matter, series matters. But let me put that back. That's kind of where it makes the difference. prior to here, I feel like the series matter, not so much games. As long as you take the series, who cares, right? Win 2 out of 3, whatever.
Yeah.
But now, you're talking about getting a wild card race. You're talking about with the best record. Now every game matters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're no longer dependent on we took 2 out of 3, we took 3 out of 4, or we took 2 and 2. We split the series, we won the series. Now every game matters. It's like they want to win every one of them. Compared to, I feel like before, it's just like if you're winning series, then you're fine.
Right.
So
now teams are looking for those easy matchups.
Right. So I don't know about cutting half. 110, 120 games, probably be all right. I'd be down with that. Cut about 40 or 50 off.
I'm old school, man. I say keep it the same.
162?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of, it's cool, but in the first half of the season, there's a lot of meaningless games played.
It's because I feel like, and teams are getting a lot of days off nowadays.
Yeah.
Compared to, what it used to back in the days.
Yeah.
Like, you see teams not playing on a Monday or Thursday or Wednesday, so
yeah,
they're getting more days off.
Well,
they're still playing 162 regardless.
I guess it's not bad that now, when I know why they did it is because they added the extra wild card in. I think it's better with the restructured schedule. You get a better picture of how good of a team you are, because you can't just beat up on the bottom dwellers in the division anymore.
No,
you know
no.
Last half of the season, you're 1 game behind the wild card, and you're playing, the Mets in the East. You're gonna beat up on them and get 6 games out of them. It's just I don't know that. I guess it's better in that aspect now that you're actually playing. Like, if you're going to get a bottom dweller, it's going to be luck of the draw, but you might get a number one, number one in another division or something.
And it all comes down towards how good the team is doing throughout the season.
Right.
Because you never know. You could be, like, look at the Marlins. Nobody thought the Marlins was going to have the kind of season they're having.
No.
Now,
if you take off half those games where they had real competition and they beat up on the Mets all year, they probably have probably 10 more wins, right?
Probably so. Or even then, if they face, let's just say that, I don't know. Let's just say that the Dodgers or the Braves are looking forward to the matchup towards the end of the season because they don't look like they have a good of a team in paper. But throughout the season, look what they've done. So now they're like, oh shoot. We got to worry about this team because this team is actually good.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting for sure. I'm a purist too, but I could probably stand to see him play a few less games. If we're being honest. 162's, I think 110, 120 probably be all right.
And I'm sure probably a good portion of people agree with you there too.
Yeah, I'm not saying cut them down to 40 games. No way. But
right.
Cut 40 off, probably be okay.
Right.
122 instead of 162. And then you take some and then maybe if you do that gives you more time to mess with the playoffs. Like, so what about this? Instead of doing the playoff format, why don't you let everybody in and play like a round robin type tournament or something? I don't know.
Like a whole month of elimination tournament.
Yeah, like a round robin. You know how they work. Everybody gets so many games.
Yeah.
Different opponents and shit. That
That's
would be
interesting.
Crazy. It would be crazy. I know they'll never do that.
But see, then again, you kind of get into the, like, I see what you're saying. It sounds interesting, but then you get into the whole realm of, then why are they competing for if everybody's going to be playing each other in the postseason? Maybe a bye into the final so they don't have to be in it.
Well, I know as an Atlanta fan, we take pride in winning the East. Winning the East is bigger. We've just won it so much now that nobody cares about it. But winning your division is kind of a big time thing, you know.
Yeah.
Champion of that division, then you go on to win the pennant in L. But I don't know. I mean, that throws a whole different take on it, man. Say you get in and you mix them up and play a round robin tournament. I'm saying do away with the whole format, right? So do away with the NL versus AL team, right? Say if you're going to let 10 teams in, let them in and take the barrier down of what division they came from and just round robin them. And the two best teams come out at the very end. Because sometimes maybe there might be the two best teams in the league might be in the same division. Literally. You know, you take like not this year, but I mean, the year that the Dodgers won in 2020, I mean, very well could have been Atlanta and LA was the two best teams in the whole league.
I see what you're saying. So you're trying to take the whole one side versus the other side, where it could be either one side from. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Right, you take the top 10 teams. If you're going to put 10 in the playoffs, all collectively, take 5 from the NL, 5 from the AL. Take when you get in the playoffs, mix up the format. Like take the NL AL barriers off and just play a round robin tournament with 10 teams. Let the best come out up top. And if you have two of the best teams, like in 2020, LA and Atlanta were probably, in my opinion, the two best teams in baseball. Then they get to play each other in the World Series instead of in the CS.
Yeah, see now that sounds interesting. That sounds very interesting.
You know, I'm just spitballing here. This will never happen, ever, in 1,000 worlds.
Never say never.
Yeah, but would it not be interesting? I mean, put 10 in and let them play. It's just like a travel ball tournament. Let them play. You know, just everybody plays each other once or whatever, and then go from there.
Yeah, and that's the thing, man.
Hit a winner's bracket and a loser's bracket.
And right now, that's kind of one of the biggest issues that baseball is running into is making the game more appeal to the viewer on the other side. Not in terms of like attendance, because like for me, when you go to a baseball game, usually when you go to any event, it has a great atmosphere. Like you enjoy being there,
right?
But you get a whole nother experience when you're just watching it from home, from a TV, from your couch,
right?
You see what I'm saying? So I think they're kind of missing that.
Yeah. So let me ask you this: if they played less games, like I propose, you think their attendance would be better?
As far as like selling tickets out?
Yeah.
Or
to the game. I mean, do you think if there was less opportunities to go and it was
that's a good question.
Because it's typical supply and demand. You're talking about cutting 40 games off. So instead of having
it's a possibility, but then
at home.
But then you kind of well, now you're kind of getting into the whole realm of, well, they got to make up the other 40 games some way, somehow. So now you're running into, sales and what they're going to charge and all this stuff.
Eventually, that's what the whole problem is. At the end of the day, they'll never cut it from 162, regardless if it's too much or too little, because of money.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, even if they can put on a game and get 4,000 people in there, sell 4,000 tickets, and sell 4,000 hot dogs, they still made some money for that day,
Right, but then you got to run into what's the hot dog costing and how many people are buying it. Like you said, let's just say they sell.
It doesn't matter if they can get 4,000 people in there, they're making money. Or else,
I mean, look at the A's.
The A's are making money. They ain't got nothing in the stadium. They're not doing anything with the stadium. People are still buying merchandise. They have low salaries, so even 3,000 people. I mean, 3,000 people in there how much do you spend? How much do you spend when you go to a ball game? Think about it. If it was just you. You didn't take your wife, anybody else. What are you gonna have? You gonna get a hot dog or a food? You gonna get a food item?
Maybe, and then maybe a beer.
Okay, so a beer's $10, $12, probably.
Yeah.
You get draft, that probably cost them $1.
Yep.
And you're gonna buy what? A hot dog and the fries.
Yeah.
Probably
Let's just say
12 bucks.
$30. Maybe
30 bucks
20 to
times-
$30.
Times 3,000. Go ahead and do the math.
And depending on the day, you might get a bottle of water.
Okay. So let's go $35
Yeah,
times 30 times 3,000 people.
that adds up. That's something.
And if they can get 3,000 people in here, and this is before ticket sales or merchandise or anything, times 3,000 people. So if you did $35 times 3,000 people, it's $105,000. Okay. So if they can get 3,000 people in and get them to buy a hot dog, a beer, and a water, they've made a lot of money.
But then you run into, you gotta pay the employees, then you gotta pay for the product, then how much you're left with,
but,
really.
I mean, all right, they're going to give the employees $100 a game, and
All right.
the product is, hot dog and fries, $2.50, selling it for 12 or 13 bucks. Dude, they're making plenty. I'm telling you, because
Oh yeah, I don't doubt that.
also if you only know you're only getting 3,000 people, then you don't have to staff as many either. So I
True.
guarantee you, I guarantee you go to Oakland, an A's game, there's not going to be 500 staff members there.
No, there's no way.
Yeah.
For who?
That's what I'm saying. So that's not really. It's all marginal,
Yeah.
They supply it as they need it. Same with the food. They're not going to buy if they know 3,000 people is going to come. They're not going to buy 1,000 pounds of hot dogs.
Right.
So they got it down to a science, man. If they were losing money, even the A's, they would be trying to shut games down. But like I said, if you can get 3,000 people in there, I mean, you've made a bunch of money.
Oh yeah. No, I don't know that for sure, but some make more than others, and then they're gonna try to figure out a way to, because they're always trying to figure out a way to maximize it, because at the end of the day, it's money, and they're trying to make the most money that they can, so they're gonna try to maximize everything.
Yeah.
And we just went into a rant. We need to get into
Yeah. All right, let's get into some what people really want to hear. They want to hear us blabbing along about hot dogs and beers and money and shit. What we really want to hear is trade talk. First one, the Mets. I didn't think they were going to sell the whole damn clubhouse. They might as well sold Citi Field.
You think they would have got something from them?
What? Oh, I was being a smart ass. Citi Field.
I know.
Yeah, they probably would have got fucking cash considerations.
Hey, what's your thought on
pick and a player to be named later out of Citi Field?
what's your what's your thoughts on Max Scherzer going to the Rangers?
I like it.
You think it was a smart move from both sides or a smart move from the Rangers?
I think it works for both of them. I think that the Rangers will use him in a way that's not gonna, because he's older. Same problem with LA. By the time he gets into the playoff run, his arm's dead. So I think they're gonna kind of go ahead.
So what you're saying is that the Mets were, in a way, they were overusing him.
People have been for a while. Even LA did when LA had him. But I mean, he's older. He's not. Yeah, Scherzer's known as one of the best and most reliable pitchers probably to ever do it. I mean, you look up his track record of injuries and shit, and over his whole career, barely any. I mean, he's like the most durable guy you could have, and he's always, most of the time, lights out. I mean, you know him, Scherzer. I mean,
Yeah.
Mad Dog, but he's old now. I mean, he's 40 or 41 or 39 or I think he's 41.
No, he's a little younger than that.
Okay.
He's 30. Give me 1 second.
Okay. Anyways, he's old. He's not his 30-year-old self anymore. You know, he's kind of past his prime. He still pitches good, but you have to.
He's 39.
He's 39. Okay. I was right the third time. Third time's a charm. I'm not going to say he's past his prime, but he's like an older dog, man. It's Toby Keith, right? Not as good as I once was, but I'm good once as I ever was. It's Max Scherzer for you, man. I mean, he's old. You got to conserve him. And if they play him right and not make him a everyday starter and kind of, I'm not saying use him in the bullpen, but I don't know. They can find a way to use him to conserve him, and then he'll be there for you for the playoffs.
So will you say that? I see what you're saying, and I mean, it in a way it makes sense. And like you say, he's a workhorse.
Yeah.
And he's 39, so he's getting up there in age. I mean, the guy's still throwing, lower 90s, and for that age, is pretty good.
Yeah.
And he's definitely, no doubt, possibly Hall of Famer. But I think,
he's Hall of Famer.
If being the Ranger and like you said, he's being used a lot and probably overworked, then what will be the best way for them to use him? I'm not saying if you start him, then you got to run into the issue, well, for how many innings you're going to start him, whether it's 4 or 5 innings. And then if you use him as a reliever, which I doubt it, then in what inning you're going to bring him in? In the 7, 8, 9, or,
so you have to pitch him. I was going to say stagger his starts. There's a rotation, right, in baseball. So if you're the fourth man, you get every fourth start. Well, I was going to say instead of giving him 4, give him like 6. So he kind of got their starts because you have to keep pitching him. I mean, you can't just put him on the bench and let him run into the postseason. He's got to keep pitching to stay in shape.
Or, like you said, staggering up, but instead of him pitching every 6 days, just keep your normal rotation. But instead of him starting the game, having come in the 3rd or 4th inning, pitch, let's just say 4, 5, 6, and maybe 7th inning, and then go right back to the bullpen from there.
Yeah, and that leaves their starters pretty well rested too.
Right.
Kind of overlap guy, yeah.
Because I know
like that idea.
I know that Tampa usually does that too, where they start a reliever for an inning or 2, and then just bring a starter to throw.
Yeah.
And then go right back to the bullpen. I'm not a huge fan of it, but it works. And for a guy like him, I'm pretty sure he's going to relieve him of a lot of, work on the mound. If he does that every other start.
I agree with that. And you have to keep him healthy. He's old. I mean, you think about LA and that run in 21 it was 21. I mean, because last year they didn't make it. But last year, in the CS, 21 CS with the Braves, he just had a dead arm, man. I mean, he was just give out.
Yeah.
He pitched the whole season and being the guy he is, the same with Dodgers, same with Buehler. Buehler's as a workhorse. That dude pitches like into the 7th inning. I mean, he's always over 100 on pitch count. Dude's eats pitch counts. But I mean, look at him now. They can't do that with Scherzer. Scherzer used to be like that, but he is past that now. So you have to conserve him, or else he's just going to have a dead arm. He's just going to run out of juice. Is what it is. I hope the Rangers play him right. If they play him right, that's a pretty critical piece there. Because Scherzer's good, man.
That's without a doubt. I mean,
and unfortunately, I hate to say this, but he'll probably get a little pep in his performance because he's not pitching in the East anymore. I don't care what anybody says. I know I'm a Braves fan, but some of the best hitters are in the NL East. I don't care what anybody says.
I mean, they are, and And well, when nowadays the schedule, the way the schedule falls, you know, I'm sure he's gonna play a lot of more American League teams than NL, but you're still gonna get your NL teams out there. And,
Yeah.
you're going from a guy that pitch. I mean, he's pitching both leagues, so he's not. It's not like it's nothing new to him. He was playing for.
Detroit. You talking about when he was in
Yeah,
Detroit? That was many moons ago.
right.
Yeah.
Which he has some success over there.
I'm just saying, week in, week out, I think he'll face really good hitters still, but I think they're not as good as the East hitters. When you look at the East and the teams that are in there and the hitters they got, man, they got some horses.
Yeah, I mean the probably in a sense you're right, but probably one of the toughest division that he's probably gonna face in the AL is gonna be the AL East.
I mean, yeah. I don't disagree with that. But if he's pitching in the West, he might have a little curve
Yeah,
performance, gives the
yeah,
confidence back. But I
yeah.
mean,
He's
Server's
gonna.
always pitched in the East. He went from, except for the Dodgers. I mean, he went with the Nats for years. Then he went over to the Dodgers for a few years, and he come back to the Mets. So
Yep.
those guys over there know him as well. On the flip of that, he's always been in the East. So the guys that have some tenure there, they know what he's about. And he's a little bit older, so he may have lost a little bit of his edge, and that's why he's getting peppered around. But he's going to go over to the AL where most of those guys don't really see him and haven't really ever seen him. Because
Took.
the guys that he pitched against when he was with Detroit, most of them guys probably aren't playing still.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, he's killing it in the bank account, getting paid
Yeah.
from 3 teams.
Yeah, he's smoking it. Well, with that, the Mets they got rid of him. Mets are paying 25 mil, or they're paying all but 25 million.
Yeah, they're paying
Yeah.
20. He's getting paid 15 from the Rangers
15 from the Nats
and
25 from
25.
Mets.
Yeah.
Yeah. They traded away Peterson, which Scherzer was not happy about that. Whatever. And then I just found they traded away Mark Canha. So he's a really good player. Mark is really consistent. You know what you get. He's good. But he's gone now. So the Mets are selling. I'm waiting for him to get rid of Verlander. I think Alonso's not going anywhere. The Polar Bear will stay.
So if you're the Mets, do you go straight to overhaul the team and just sell everybody?
Might as well.
Coming from a postseason that they spend, over the luxury threshold. Like I think they're like 300 and something
Yeah,
million dollars over.
Yeah, I mean, they spend a lot of money. Everyone knows that. Everyone was upset with that. That's between them and the Yankees and all. You're talking about setting salary caps and all this crap, all this other stuff. But I think they'd do an overhaul. I think they tried to buy wins. It ain't happening. Same thing with Padres. Padres went out and got a lot of big name guys, a lot of egos.
Listen, I say
they might still. I'm not counting the Padres out. I'm just saying they're definitely, for the names they have.
Yeah, they should have had a better record.
Right, they're disappointing. Now you squeak in, anything can happen. I'm not counting them out of the World Series.
No, not yet.
No,
but they should be performing way better than they are. Expectations were high for them.
Who's first in the West over there?
I believe Arizona.
Yeah, what should
Arizona,
be the
Dodgers, and then the Padres.
Well,
but the Padres are, I think they're 5 games off the wild card.
All right, that's what I'm getting at, man. With even with Snell pitching good, I mean Snell's 2.50 ERA. The hitters they have, the names.
Yep.
Come on, you're 5 games out the wild card. You should win the West. Plain and simple. There's no doubt, to me, that they should win the West.
Yeah, and I agree. And like I said, I kind of got to the point where if a team want to spend money, let them spend money. I mean, at the end of the day, how
It
they
don't
finish the
work.
season, how they finish the season is going to dictate whether or not it worked. So,
Yeah, it's not working. The three teams that spent money in the offseason, I'm not even going to say the Padres, but the Padres have big names, the Mets and the Yankees. Two of them
yeah,
are last in their division. Well, Mets aren't last. I think the Nats are below them, but they might as well be last. And
yeah,
I
that
think the
their
Yankees are
team,
last.
yep.
Yeah, I mean the Yankees are a bust too, man. But spending money don't don't do nothing. Let them. That's why I don't care about the salary cap. Everyone was
Hey,
pissed off with with the Mets. Look at them now. Everyone's going crazy. Spend all this money. Da, 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 da. They suck. There ain't no doubt about
going going into the Yankees, since you just mentioned them, do you think they should have? I don't. Well, the deadline is not over, but
it. Yeah.
yet. But today's the last day, so I mean, they were gonna make any big moves they would have done already.
Right.
So, with that being said, do you think they should have just go ahead and start going on a fire sale, or sticking with what they got, or
And
get
the
rid of their
Yankees.
management?
Boone's got to go. He's terrible.
Because
Yeah, Boone's got to go.
see, you're running, and yeah, I do agree with you there, but
I mean,
you're
yeah,
running into the thing where, like, you just attended a guy that, I mean, don't get me wrong, they're in a tough division. The AL East, it has gotten tough. Look at the Boston; they playing pretty good baseball, and nobody thought that they were, coming from the offseason that they had, where they were making some questionable moves and not signing JD, and you know getting Turner instead of JD, and then uh, letting Bogart go and signing Story, and all that stuff. But going back to the Yankees, you know, it seems like they can't win a game without Aaron Judge being in the lineup. Their pitching has been terrible, for lack of better terms. The only one that is doing better in that rotation is Garrett Cole. He's the only solid pitcher that they got so far. Nestor Cortez, he just kind of he had a good season last year, but I'm not gonna say it was a fluke season, but he had a good year last year. Uh,
hmm
who you got? Then you signed Carlos Rodon, who just literally has only pitched like 2, 3 games so far. A guy that you
hmm
pay $170 something million. Then you got Luis Severino, who hasn't done. He probably had, I believe, he has like a 9 ERA in his last 9 starts. Then you got
yeah.
you got their
Well,
bullpen. So,
we can
and
stop
then,
there. I mean, they ain't they
right,
ain't hitting on nothing. That's why they're losing. That's why they're last in the division. You can say it's a hard division, what you want, but you just explained why why they're not winning. And to your point, they can't win without Aaron Judge in the in the lineup, and that's fine because if you got to score more than 5 or 6 runs every game to win, when you lose someone like Aaron Judge, you're not going to be able to do it. And what I mean by that is their pitching sucks. If their pitching gives up 6 runs a game on average, or five, I don't know how much it is, but say
right,
it was 5 or 6, and you have to score 6 to win, you're gonna have a crap record.
right. But then again, it's not like the team overall is hitting too. They're probably, I believe they're ranked of the lowest as far as like hitting stats so far. And And like I said, without Aaron Judge being there, it's like they're basically a kid without a dad.
Yeah, yeah,
And I'm not sure they should have go ahead and go on a fire sale and start perhaps trading players like DJ LeMahieu and some of the other guys. Josh Donaldson, which I doubt that they're gonna sign him back. Um,
yeah,
and I pretty sure I heard that the Marlins were interested in Gleyber Torres,
yeah.
which he's not having a bad season. you know,
Yeah.
and then you got your rookies, you know,
Yeah.
Bullpit and Parasite and some of the other guys that has not been performing as well as they thought they were gonna be. And they're rookies. They're 20, 21, 22 years old, so they still got a lot ahead of them. But some of the other
Yeah.
players, man, you could have just trade them and see what you can get. Because sometimes a lot of players, when you change their environment or they go from one team to the other, they play better.
Yeah, I agree. Get them in the right environment with the right manager, and they'll do good. So we agreed that the Yankees should be sellers. They should sell. They shouldn't even try to make a run.
Yeah.
That'll probably bite us in the butt. They'll probably win the World Series. All right. All right. So what about Lynn and Kelly? Lance Lynn and
Who?
Joe Kelly.
Oh, that's a good one. So,
Yeah, they went from the White Sox to the Dodgers. I'll give you my quick run. I like Joe Kelly. He's back in a familiar place with familiar people, familiar faces. He'll probably be fine. Lance Lynn is kind of the interesting one. He hasn't performed. He had a couple years in a row where he was kind of like a Cy Young candidate all the time. This year has not been that year. He's been just bad, really. So it's interesting to see what they do with him. I don't know. Bueller should be coming back. I wonder if they use him until they get some arms back, and then maybe designate him, or I don't know. Maybe they keep him in there because of experience. But I don't know how much postseason he has. I don't think he has much. I don't know. We'll see. That's the interesting. I don't know why they picked up Lance Lynn. Not
but I
really
mean,
sure on that.
Lance Lynn is a veteran, but if anybody can fix any pitching, it will be the Dodgers. I mean, look what they did with Tyler Anderson. But
Yeah.
that's a whole nother story. Now, my thoughts on it, I kind of have mixed feelings about it because, so if you look at the Dodgers pitching, if you look at the Dodgers overall, they really haven't been the dominant Dodger that everybody feared a few seasons ago, where they were like, they're surely we're gonna make the playoff. In terms of hitting, they've still got solid hitting. Freeman, Mookie Betts, JD Martinez, all those guys having a great season. But when you go into the pitching, again, that's where they're struggling at, is basically pitching. Bobby Miller, he's a rookie, but he hasn't performed like they thought what they were expecting from him. And then they're getting players hurt. Walker Buehler hurt. Then they got
I think Urias went out. Yeah, I mean they've been banged up, and they have been underperforming, and that's why I don't think they're as dominant. They have the lineup. I mean, they got, like you said, all those names earlier. We don't have to go through them. I mean, everyone knows who plays for the Dodgers. I
but
mean, they're
and see
star-studded on the defense, but and the offense. But yeah, I mean, I don't really think they're a threat or anything. I don't understand picking up Lance Lynn. To me, he has no value to them. Now, I'm not in the analytics room, but I mean, Lance Lynn's pitched terrible this year.
and the thing is about it too that I'm like, is this the beginning of the decline of the Dodgers?
Well, yeah, they should have got rid of uh, um, Dave Roberts is a lot like damn Aaron Boone. He should have been gone long ago. I mean, the dude has that star-studded lineup for that long, and he gets one World Series in the shortened season with an asterisk by it. Come on, get out of here. Dave Roberts is their problem all day,
You see,
100%. He's,
and
he's
you
he's a
saying they should have been
goofball.
like Dusty Baker.
No, Dusty's good, but yeah, no, Dusty has no, Dusty only has one. Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
It's tough, but you would think that these teams were this lineup and basically this core full of talent where they go in 5, 6, 7, 8 years of just winning the division, and
sound like the
you
sound like
would
the
think
'90s Braves, the '90s
you
of the Braves.
well you would think they would win at least let's just say they go out to the post. They win the division 8 out of or let's just say they win the division 8 times, right, in the last 10 years. They should at least won the World Series 3 times out of those 8 years, not once, or if any. A good example, look at the Yankees. They had a heck of a team the last 7 or 8 years. And look where they at. They haven't won a World Series since 2009.
Yeah.
So
Atlanta's won the division 5 years in a row now. It's going to be 6, but 5 in a row. And before that, all right, so they won it 95 through 05, 10 years in a row. And
how many times?
One World Series out of it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like you would think they would do a lot better.
Well, Atlanta in the 90s was a lot like Houston now. They were in a years, but I think they went to 3 or 4, only won 1 in 96. But the best team they probably had was like the 98 Braves.
But see, it's funny because the teams that you wouldn't expect to win big, they done it. So the Giants, the San Francisco Giants won 2012, 2013, and I forgot the other one. But I think they won 2 or 3 World Series in 10 years.
On it, yeah. They had studs on those teams, though. That wasn't like no.
They did, but they weren't the biggest one. They were not like this is where fear. They weren't fears.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? There were teams that were better than the Giants. That's what I'm trying to get at, and they won more World Series.
Yeah.
Than those that were.
Dave Roberts is the problem. I think they could have had one. The Dodgers could have had 1 or 2 more if they didn't have Dave Roberts.
And a lot of times,
Dave Roberts.
And a lot of times you're right, because a lot of times that ends up being the case. I mean, look at last year's Phillies when they got rid of the manager, and guess what? They came around and won the World Series.
Yeah, no, hold on now. Philly didn't win last year. Houston did. That's the second time you've done that.
Yes, you're right.
The second time you've done
that.
Right.
That's my bad.
I think you just really wanted the Phillies to win.
That's my bad. Hey, they were there, man.
They were there. They were exciting. Anyways, I hate the Phillies. So moving on. We'll see, man. It's interesting. Atlanta didn't have a big trade deadline. I think they picked up one guy. Kind of weird.
Yeah, Nicky Lopez. That's a utility guy.
Didn't shore up the bullpen a little bit. And we've been struggling there. That's going to be our piece. And see, that's very bad for us because I don't care what you say. World Series and playoff runs are built by the bullpen. You go look at the last few winners in a row, and you look at postseason bullpen stats. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, last year I don't think the one I know most about because I'm a fan of them is the 21 Braves. Will Smith, their closer, didn't give up a run the entire postseason. And all their closers or bullpen guys were like sub 2 ERAs, most of them. You had 1 or 2 spike guys, but like their core was like 1 ERA the whole postseason. I mean, that's what did it.
And it's about coming clutch when they really matter most. Because some of the guys that were in their bullpen that didn't have a good season, even them, they came clutch.
Yeah. And you look at look at Houston's last year. Their bullpen, I guarantee you pull up their bullpen numbers with Presley as their closer and all. He's probably about the same. I'm almost betting he didn't blow a save or give up a run all postseason. But
yeah, he had the same numbers.
Yeah.
Hey, moving on.
Yeah,
What about what's your thought on the Angels not trading away Shohei Ohtani and them acquiring CJ Cron and Randall Grichuk?
I think Ohtani went all in. I think they may have had a backseat meeting or something and said, you want to go or you want to stay. I think maybe Ohtani I said, I want to win. And I'm right here. I want to win here. And I think that they said, fine, we'll stay and we'll be buyers. We won't sell. We'll be buyers. We're not that far off. Let's go see if we can win it.
Yeah.
That's what it's
And see-
about at the end of the day. I don't even like this whole buyer seller bullshit.
And
If you're selling, you shouldn't be playing. You know what I mean? You should always be there to win it.
Right, because at that point, you're just trying to build now for the future, trying to see who you can get out of it for the future. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it don't. It's
but
kind
the
of
same teams are sellers every year.
some of them more than others.
Yeah, okay.
Hey,
How about
so
the Bengals? They're sellers every year except for this year.
I'm kind of actually happy about these trades that they made because of what you said. They're usually not known for buying. They're usually known for selling it. And you want some of the players in their team to make the playoffs, like Mike Trout, who's probably he's never been in a World Series before, or Shohei
He's made
Ohtani.
one playoff appearance, I think.
Not a World Series though.
No, he's made one playoff appearance.
Yeah. So, well, you want those guys to go out there and take it off. And I know the owner, he's been getting a lot of heat about it. And I know they have a lot of things on the plate, like trying to sign Shohei and all the other guys. And I know they're trying to bring a World Series before Shohei leaves, or even before Mike Trout retires, So I do like their move. Getting Lucas Giolito was probably, I think it was a great move because now you're just not relying on one guy. Because pretty much, Shohei is he was one of the best, their ace, really. And he was probably their best bat, aside from Trout, who's hurt. Well, he just got back.
We'll see. They definitely need some bullpen. They need some pitching help. That's the name of the game, right?
Yeah.
Good pitching. Good pitching is what really assures you up, makes you a serious competitor for runs.
Yeah. Yeah.
If all you have to do is score 1 or 2 runs a game to win, your chances are very high to win that game.
Yeah. And look who they got. They got Lucas Giolito, who's he's been having a okay season, and like I said,
he's got great upside.
Right, with changes they can give him better, and then they got a Reynaldo Lopez, who's a bullpen guy, which he could help. Along with that, Taylor Ward just got hit in the face by a fastball. So what did? They went over there and got C.J. Cron, who's a great hitter, to plug that hole. And then they got another outfielder in Randall Grichuk, who's hitting over 300.
Yeah.
So they are making the right moves for sure to try to win it all.
Yeah, I agree. And I hope they do. I'd really like to see them go. I'd like to see the Reds go. I'm tired of seeing the same old team. I'm tired of seeing Houston, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
I'm tired of seeing Houston win and always get to the World Series, get to the CS. I'm tired of seeing the Dodgers do it. I'm not tired of seeing the Braves do it. They're kind of on a new start, though. You know what I mean? They're here and there. They haven't been every year or whatever.
I hear some bias going on.
Yeah, well, hey, we don't to bring up the Padres.
No.
But hey, I'd like to see Seattle. I really would have loved to see Seattle get in there, but they've had a bullshit season. I never want to see the Blue Jays win. I don't know why.
Why is that?
I don't know.
Is it because they're a Canadian team? Come on now.
No, I don't think so. they're all right. I think it's exciting. I definitely want to go to their stadium, but I'm just not I don't know, man. That team just seems a little arrogant. Like all their players just have like an arrogance, or what I perceive, me personally, as like an arrogance. Like if you look at like Vlad Guerrero Jr. and like Bo Bichette and like used to be Matt Chapman, I don't know. They just kind of had that Bautista. You know how Bautista was arrogant like that?
Yeah.
They had, I don't know. I get that kind of vibe from their whole team. I just don't. I don't know. I don't care to see
But
them win.
you know, I do think that Bobby Chet is a little bit underrated.
Oh, he's good. Don't get me wrong. I just, you know, Matt Olson's good, but he ain't walking around with his chest puffed out arrogant. Sean Murphy's really good. He ain't doing that. Otani's the
Yeah,
best one to do it. Otani's probably the most humble player there is.
yeah.
I mean,
But
Otani's not out there like being arrogant.
no,
Neither is
you're
Trout.
right.
You know,
But
it's just I don't know.
what about? All right, what about um Ellie De La Cruz? Would you
Oh,
say he's arrogant, or would you say he plays with fire?
he's more a fire guy.
Because you know what I'm saying. Because I'm just like, because I know a lot of players try to play with like a little fire to
Yeah,
try to, you know what I mean?
it's different though. I think there's a difference between arrogance and like I believe Ellie isn't really being arrogant. I think he's like literally just trying to be the best on the field. I don't know. There's like a distinct difference to me. I don't know. Yeah. Ellie's like he's just competing like very hard. You know what I mean? And it
Yeah.
makes him seem arrogant, but these other guys are like I don't know. They're just arrogant, and I don't think they compete that hard. Like they don't play as hard as Ellie. That might be the difference.
No, they don't. They
They
don't.
don't. I mean, Ellie's playing like. I mean, he's playing like 100%, uh, leaving it all on the field every game.
Yeah.
The dude believes in himself. So
And
that's the difference.
that's kind of the thing that I'm afraid of with like players like that because they usually tend to get hurt a lot more
Yeah.
than those other players. Like I'm not no, you know, nothing against him, but Chaz Gisholm, he's probably one of the most overhyped players, and he's good when he's on the field. And I mean, the guy plays 110%, but he's always hurt.
Yeah.
You get him for 3 games, and then he's out for another 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Um. So yeah, I believe. I don't think Jazz Chisholm is that good either. I think he's very overhyped. He's exciting. I mean, he gets Miami fans.
Right.
He gets Miami fans wrapped up, but I mean, that dude might be selling a lot of jerseys, which he probably is. So if he's selling a lot of jerseys, then he brings value. But
Right.
I don't think he's that good at
And
all.
like I say, the best
Yeah,
season that he's had is in 2021 and this is the most game he ever played, which is 124 games. And I mean, he had a 248 batting average with 18 home runs.
yeah. So
You
really,
know,
just about average. I mean, yeah. I mean, it is what
so
it is. But he's marketable. People like
but
him.
yeah, yep.
He's kind of showy. So, but we'll see, man. So that's interesting. A lot of trade talk. We only covered the big ones that we wanted to, kind of touch on. I think we're going live this Friday again. Probably right.
Uh, yeah,
Yeah. We'll be on this Friday, and the trade deadline will be sure enough closed up. So we'll kind of do like a final disposition on the whole trade deadline, and so what I really want to do is I want to make predictions now that trading will be done. Roster set. We know who's where, what they add. Let's do a little postseason prediction. Who we think is gonna who we think is gonna get left out. Who's gonna just squeak in by a little bit. Maybe who will win it all.
all right, you ready?
Well, that's talking about next Friday. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. That's what I was saying.
I was gonna say San Diego's gonna win it.
A little bias creeping through, don't you think?
Nah, I'm just messing with you.
San Diego, mark my words, San Diego don't even get in.
Nah, I do got a team in mind though.
Yeah. Baltimore. I'm just playing. I'd like to see them. But
They're playing good
anyways,
baseball.
they've been playing good baseball all year. Yeah. So that's what we'll do. We'll hop on Friday. Look for that. We'll do some the trade deadlines will be all mustered out. We'll kind of do some predictions and kind of finalize the dispositions on all the trading. We'll see how it goes, man. There's teams hot that are not as hot. There's teams that are heating up. Should be interesting next couple of months.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, that's going to be it for the day. We appreciate y'all tuning in. Remember, we have YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at In the Booth Media. Add us, subscribe. We put up videos. Keep up with us. That's where you'll find all of our content and what we're doing. You got anything, Chris?
Yeah, just tune in. If you guys got any video suggestion that you guys like to see or that you guys wonder about, just let us know. Also, comments your opinion on the trades and see just what you guys think about it. What's your most surprising trade so far this year, and what's your best one?
Yeah, for sure. We always want to hear what you guys have to say. At the end of the day, this is why we do it. We do it to have because it's fun to us, but also we kind of want to spread the baseball love. So
yeah, and build a community around it.
Yeah. So leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. In fact, go ahead and let us know what you think on who's going to win the World Series this year, and we'll go ahead and kind of compare what we think too. Well, what I think and what Chris thinks, because I'm sure we're going to have two different teams. So, but at the end of the day, that wraps it up. Thanks for tuning in. We will see y'all Friday.
All right.